Okay, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 538. I am Brian Kilby. And with me this week, I have Chris, who has had nothing to eat in hours and hours.
I'm going to murder someone.
And, you were, so friendly and cheerful during There Goes My Money this week.
I had eaten, immediately before.
And, even in the email that you sent, you used a smiley leading up to that. I don't think I've ever...
I may have been drinking. I don't really remember.
Yeah, that's the first smiley I've ever seen come from your fingers typing before.
Well, I'm not going to say which two fingers I used for that.
Okay.
See, that's what There Goes My Money does to you. We may not have any money because we spent it on toys, but we're happy.
You're happy. Diecast. I'm never happy after spending money on toys. I think there's a problem with me.
Yeah, you should at least have a little satisfaction.
I think you're in the wrong hobby.
It would depend.
Yeah, if you don't have any satisfaction after spending money on toys, perhaps you should stop buying toys.
It's not that I don't enjoy the toys. They have to be retail, official product, because I do have a sadness in my heart when I spend money on third party. It's not because I hate third party. It's just because I like getting out for less than $50 for a deluxe size toy. I've become more price conscious as I've gotten older when it comes to this stuff. I don't spend more than I don't think I've spent more than $100 on anything other than Trypticon this year. I don't think. Don, how's it going?
You didn't get a Masterpiece Megatron?
Is that this year?
Yeah.
Then F me.
It was February.
Okay, then I was wrong. Don, how about you? Have you blown any money this week?
Not technically this week, because what I got today I paid for last week. So
I imagine you're kind of saving up for TFCon this weekend anyway.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to unleash the Dononomics.
God help us all.
So a friend messaged me on Facebook this evening and was like, "Hey, this is my first TFCon. What are the prices like on toys?" And my response was, "I don't really buy toys when I'm at TFCon or at BotCon. I don't go to the dealer room that much." Which is kind of sad, but
no one buys toys at BotCon now
because it doesn't exist.
Aww.
But my response was, well, if you've never been before, anything that's available everywhere is going to be roughly the same price, and outside of that, it's anything goes.
Too much.
Yeah. So sometimes if you can, if somebody's selling something that they've been bringing for years and hasn't sold, you can probably get it pretty cheap. But if there's
or they've been bringing it for years and it hasn't sold because they won't let it go cheap.
Well, there are those people. They're the Dons of the world. No response. And
no matter what I say, I won't win. So I'm just.
That's healthy.
That's
healthy to come to that realization.
It's healthy, Don. Don, you're amazing. Don is my hero. Don is the wind beneath my wings. I don't know if most people know this, but he is.
No, Brian, that's gas.
Don, I can't wait to see you. I'm going to give you a big hug.
A manly hug.
A big manly hug. A bear hug. Actually, I guess it's a polar claw hug?
Barbarian.
Barbarian, yeah. There you go. But yeah, so TFCon's coming up this weekend, so we'll be there. Now, some of us will be there. So I said a couple weeks ago that we weren't doing any kind of get-together or anything. And while that's mostly true, I did have a realization. Because we were recording the new podcast, What's Happened to the Headmasters, we have to invite people to watch Life Can Be Sacrificed for Peace on Earth. So I'm going to try to find a spot to bring people together to have a little viewing party. And I will.
Are you bringing your projector?
Probably not. So
we can do the screening then.
No.
I don't think that's a good idea, Diecast.
Yeah. So I'm not bringing the projector. It'll probably have to be connected to a TV. So we'll figure it out. But So what we'll do is we'll bring people together. We'll record it, and that'll actually be the podcast episode of what life can be sacrificed for peace on Earth here in about 10 weeks. Or however long it takes me to get to that episode. So that'll be fun. And Don, you don't have to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, man. That's gonna be
What you need to do is record B-roll of Don. You have to find a balcony and have Don sit on one side of it for one part, the other side for the other part, and he can Statler and Waldorf the whole thing by himself. Then you just mix that into the episode.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Well, I am old enough to be either Statler or Walford or both. So
You're old enough to be both collectively, yes.
Wow. Are they only like 20? I figured they were like in their 70s based on the look of them.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Okay. So, let's see. What else we got going on? Yeah, but that'll be fun. So, follow us on Twitter at TF Radio. And at some point this weekend, I'll tweet that out and let people know when and where. We just have to work out the details. So, it should be a lot of fun. Actually, also, so coming up here in a couple weeks, we have our 18th anniversary episode.
Jeez.
I know, right? You were there since nearly the beginning.
Since first year, anyway, yeah.
Dude, I think you were there within the first few weeks.
Well, I mean, like, the first year you were doing it, I was there.
Yeah, so we have a contest. Still need to do at least one more, but for sure right now we're going to have the Titans Return Arcee autographed by the Headmaster Don. It's going to be awesome. And yes, that prize meant a lot more before we realized it was going to be a Toys R Us exclusive, but still, you save $25.
Well, you still don't know how hard it's going to be because Toys R Us has a limit on it, and it's also going to be available at Toys R Us at New York Comic Con, which is the first.
And
they're doing like a pre-sale thing. Yeah.
And am I mistaken, or doesn't the Hasbro one, like the HasCon one, have like a premium deco to it?
Well, okay, so like
so.
This has been a topic of discussion in other places, and I think John Warden was the one who said it had a pumped up deco, but there was no context given to indicate that was in contrast to what a later release would have. It just, this toy has a much more premium deco than other deluxes, which kind of makes sense since that deluxe plus a Titan Master is going for $25, where the most normally you would expect would be maybe $20 for that combination.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to catch up on the chat to see if there's any commentary on the TFCon thing, and not really. So good. So Arcee 18th anniversary contest. We'll figure out one more contest between now and then. I have no idea what it'll be. So moving along. Did anybody get anything this week? And I will just start off, and I will answer no. I did not. Diecast.
You didn't?
I don't think so.
I
got stuff this week, but nothing. I got stuff for TFCon, like a case of Cheerwine.
Oh, well,
Cool.
that's good.
And a couple
You
other...
better get another one just in case.
Yeah, and a couple other things, but nothing toy-related.
I got something.
What'd you
Only
get?
one thing. I got the Transformers: The Last Knight movie.
I didn't get that.
Well, it's good. It's a good movie.
I mean,
it's
okay.
not.
No. Okay, let's be fair here. Now, Transformers: The Last Knight is at least the second best Transformers movie in the series.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. But, and I will say, most of that goes to the first 20 minutes with Isabella Moner doing a really good job for a child actor in that first opening scene. After that, it's kind of,
I
would totally disagree with that, but
I think that's the first time, Don, that you've taken a stand on her, because I think, being a fan of like Miko and Arcee, I mean, funny enough, I'm going to go off the reservation here, but there's a guy from Virginia named Jim that calls into the Wrestling Observer. If John were here, he would know exactly who I'm talking about. He calls into the Wrestling Observer live radio show, and he reminds me a lot of Don. And he runs a podcast about women's wrestling. So he's awesome. He's my favorite caller on the show. But I think there must be like something in the water in Virginia when it comes to like being a fan primarily of female characters.
Well, no, it's not just that, Brian. It's just the fact that she acted better than some of her adult counterparts, and she's not a child actor that made me cringe at her role in the movie. That was basically it.
Maybe. I think it's a Virginia thing.
I was there for the robots.
You and Jim should do a podcast.
I think she does a decent job with the part. I'll agree with Don on that. I prefer the second movie that we start in the middle, the one with Anthony Hopkins and Cogman, to the movie we have at the beginning.
True.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I agree with Don. I think the stuff with Isabella at the beginning, in my mind, is probably the strongest acting. I do like the stuff with Cogman, but that all leads to a terrible, 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 terrible last quarter of a movie, because the ending sequence, like the action scene and everything, that's, I don't know. I genuinely hate it. Yeah, it's boring.
It's incredible. The ending sequence is incredibly boring, and they made Cybertron look like a rock quarry so they could go shoot it in a rock quarry for as cheaply as possible.
Was this a Toei co-production?
But yeah, I mean, if you look at the bonus features on the extra disc on the standard release, yeah, Cybertron is actually just a rock quarry with some vaguely hexagonal things thrown in it so they could shoot the action sequence there. And the worst part is that it's even by Michael Bay standards, it's not a good action sequence. Nothing much actually happens.
Yeah.
The main characters run around. They don't actually do anything. Marky Mark, like 3 scenes ago, had a sword that he could block a 3-story tall robot with. That doesn't show up. He doesn't do anything. The Autobots, the U.S. Army, and the International Task Force all get pinned down by a single turret that third-party T-Bob can take out. It's an incredibly terribly plotted and dull action sequence at the end of that movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rob and you and I probably have pretty much the same opinion, I think, probably, about the movie. So are you going to be on the commentary that we record here in a couple of weeks?
Well, I've got a copy and probably not much else to do with my time, so sure.
So we have a commentary on all of the other movies, so we might as well do this one. And Matt's going to be there. And
I almost swore, Brian. I almost swore on the stream.
I thought he just had an aneurysm. That's what I thought.
So we'll figure out who. We may get a couple extra people to make up for Matt.
Get Triplet.
Oh, Triplet would be good. Actually, he could come over, and we could record it here.
Yeah, he bought a copy. He deserves to be punished.
So, my terrible joke here, I'm going to do it. I this week we found that the Last Knight DVD and Blu-ray is comorbid with the Combiner Wars series because it's included on the disc. So if you want to suffer through both, you can for one.
I didn't know Combiner Wars was on there.
On the Target exclusive one only.
Oh,
that's the one to get. That's the one.
You have to go buy another
one.
copy, Diecast.
Yeah. If one wasn't bad enough, so if you really, really wanted to depress yourself, that's the way to go.
That's a cool exclusive to throw in there. That's really neat.
Your definition of cool and mine are on different continents then.
Hey, again, it's free.
Besides Combiner Wars, the Target exclusive release also has more bonus content on its bonus disc than the other releases do. So,
yeah, cool. Okay, Matt, did you get anything?
I got some more Borg drones.
Oh, cool.
How many are you up to now?
10.
How many? Who was it that found? Was it Don? Was it you that found some more Sharkticons?
Yeah, they were gone when I went back to get them.
Okay, so Matt.
So I'm still stuck at 26 on Sharkticons.
I have 3.
That's your fault.
Yeah,
I have the one.
Yeah, now some third party needs to make a new Sharkticon that's like half Borged. So you've got Borg Sharkticons. just so Matt can have a third line to collect.
Okay, so let's see what else we got going on. Don, you got anything?
I got my RC from Hasbro Toy Shop this week. This is the one I'm going to, since the box kind of fan opens, like for display, I'm going to try to find a way to like open it up for display and like leave her in the box, but kind of display it open, just to be part of a display. But that's it.
Just hang it on the wall. Flatten it out and hang it on the wall.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, see, I would do that, but see, my stud sensor keeps pointing to me and not the wall, so it doesn't work.
Effective.
Darn right. Rob, did you get anything?
I can't actually remember. I got
the last night.
Yeah, I got the last night last week, so yeah, nothing this week.
Chris, did you get anything?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Oh, God.
So I got Transformers the Last Night, and Transformers the Last Night, and Transformers the Last Night, and Transformers the Last Night.
Wait, who had the 3D
And Transformers the Last Night, and Transformers the Last Night. I think that's a retail one. And Transformers the Last Night. Target exclusive Transformers the Last Night. Best Buy Steelbook 5 movie collection with the Last Night. Best Buy 4K Ultra HD Steelbook of Transformers the Last Night.
That's the one I got.
Best Buy regular old Steelbook of Transformers the Last Night. The retail 5 movie collection with Transformers the Last Night. The Walmart exclusive Transformers the Last Night with diecast vehicles. And the Walmart exclusive Transformers the Last Night with Google Cardboard or equivalent.
So what?
For the 360 viewing experience.
Wait.
Someone really hates you.
Yeah. Is the movie's watchable in 3D? Partly in 3D. Is that it? Or is it like a big screen
Where to put the
experience?
3D one?
Do you know where the 3D one came from? Because I actually need to pick that up.
Is that in Canada?
I think the 3D one is just retail.
Because I did not see 3D at Best Buy.
Wait.
I think Best Buy is only selling their versions. There is not a Best Buy Steelbook 3D version.
No.
That's the one thing they didn't cover.
So the Google. So is the Google Cardboard version the 3D version of the movie, or is it just a different viewing experience?
I think there is like digital bonus content you can access with that. You know, it'll play on your phone. You put that in the headset thing you put together.
Okay, that sounds
remember with the promo stuff, there was like the 360 videos. They were putting those on Facebook and stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
It's probably something related to that.
Yeah. Well, never mind. I don't want that then.
But yeah, that in case you lost count somewhere in the middle there, that was 14 different versions of Transformers the Last Night.
You love that movie.
I haven't even watched it since I saw it in the theater the first time.
So Paramount sent you all of those.
Yes.
That is so weird.
Yeah. That's a lot of movie.
One copy I get. 14
Well,
copies.
yeah, that's what Rob got. Mm-hmm. Rob got the one copy. I got all the other ones. And the one he got.
So weird.
Yes.
Okay, so
So that's what I got this week.
nice.
Not really.
So let's go ahead and jump to This Week in History. In 1992, a classic episode, King of Shadows, Scorponok, airs in Malaysia.
Pretty good title.
Yeah. That is episode 11. So in What's Happened to the Headmasters, that is just a few episodes away from where we are right now. So here, about toward middle October, maybe late October, we'll have that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you need to hurry and catch up to the actual air dates.
So what we're gonna do is I may cheat a little bit then, just because editing is killing me on that show. We're gonna
Why, Brian?
Yeah. So we're gonna go
How
to.
could that possibly have any editing to do?
We're gonna go to one episode of the Headmasters per podcast. So we'll follow along just one episode at a time. Maybe I'll do a couple of episodes of two so I can catch up. Which that's arbitrary, but darn it, I want to do it. Hey, in 2006, the BotCon 2006 check-in for customizing class and Thursday tour attendees begins. 2006 was that G2?
No,
Sideswipe?
that was Dawn of Future. Oh, Dawn of Futures Past was the box
Yeah,
set.
G2 Sideswipe was 2010.
Not G2 Sideswipe.
What?
I'm sorry. 2010. Yeah, no, you're right. 2010. When did
No,
the Sideswipe?
2006 is just the first customizing class.
When did that Sideswipe mold come out? Was it 07 or 06?
What, the Universe one?
Yeah.
2008.
2008. Okay. Well, clearly it couldn't have come out in 2006. So 2010 makes sense. I don't.
Also, 2010 was their G2 set year
Yeah.
with at least 35% G2 in it.
When was the Mirage set then? Or the Mirage?
That might have been 2007. That
okay.
was when they did Games of Deception.
Yeah. God, I do not remember this at all. Of course, 2006 for me, that BotCon. That was the BotCon I went to, and I didn't go. No, it was 2007. Didn't go to a single panel.
No, actually, I think the 2007 one might have been the Grimlock. The Grimlock that you could deco as Overkill.
No, it was 2006 that I didn't go to a single panel at that BotCon. Not a one.
So you didn't go to any panels, and you didn't spend time in the dealer room, as you indicated
Went to
earlier. What did you do all
hung
weekend?
out in the lobby.
So you didn't actually go to BotCon 2006. You were just at the venue.
I registered. I had
okay.
I had a badge. I just didn't participate.
He was just in the lobby.
Okay.
Let's all go to the lobby.
I may have. I probably did go to the Hasbro panel, but I didn't go to anything else. I remember that I had to Fangwing. I had to give him something, and I had to drop something off. And I walked into a panel, found him, and handed that to him. But other than the Hasbro panel, that was the only time I was in the panel room. That was not a great BotCon for me.
Maybe if you had actually done something at BotCon.
Yeah. But that was the BotCon where I believe I got to meet Alex, who passed away recently. Pretty sure that was the one where I got to meet him for the first time. But yeah, so this was. Let me show the photo from the customizing class. Go ahead, Don.
I was going to say this was probably the second most loved set in as far as the Fun Publications BotCon run, with Games of Deception being the first one with the Seekers, and then this one, Dawn of Futures Past, with the pre-Beast Wars characters. So
more so than the 2010 set with the G2 set.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going by secondary market prices, I would say Don's right.
Okay.
I mean, I know a lot of people like the G2 set, but in terms of just actual being on people's holy grail lists, a lot of people I've talked to, it's either Games of Deception from 2007 or the Dawn of Futures Past set from 2006, especially the Megatron.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think the thing from 2010 was probably just like the G2 Sideswipe in terms of something that like everybody wanted to have from that offering.
I don't think John has actually told us how much you paid for that.
But we know it was a lot.
I am pretty confident that it was 4 figures.
There's a very high chance of that. It could have been high 3s, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and I know it's more than I've ever spent on a single Transformer. I know that it's more than I've ever spent on the top 3 Transformers that I've ever paid money for. God, that's, yeah, good for John. He really wanted it. Okay, so no big item this week. TFCon's the big item. Will be there, most of us, so we'll see you there. Actually, there's going to be, when is the podcast panel? I think it may have moved. Check the
It's Saturday at 9 o'clock. Is that right?
Was it Saturday now? I thought it was Friday, like at 3 something.
What?
When I looked on the website,
Yeah.
when I looked on the website, there was one Friday and there's one Sunday at I think the close of show.
Yeah. So keep checking Twitter. Check the TFCon website. We'll be at one of those, or maybe the only one. As far as I know, the only one. So some of us will. Moving along. RC has hit retail, or will hit retail in next week, basically the 5th of October. So if you want her, $25 seems to be.
Is that exclusively Toys R Us?
Appears.
As far as I know.
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know.
And so far, interestingly, though, it sounded like you guys were told at HasCon the retail release would be different. The way they're advertising it,
I think that was assumed. I don't think anybody actually explicitly said that.
Okay, because this does seem to be totally identical to the HasCon version as far as we can tell so far.
Sure does. So that I had to go in and change all the verbiage on the contest from HasCon exclusive to just
HasCon release.
Yeah. So if you want RC, $25, Toys R Us. She already showed up on the website. I just don't think you can buy it yet.
No.
Yeah, you can't buy it until the 5th.
Yeah.
And they're also supposed to have her. Toys R Us for the first time ever is going to have a booth at New York Comic Con, and they're going to be selling RCs there apparently.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. Next item we have Transformers Authentics Bumblebee and Optimus Prime photos. Now with robot mode in package. So these more leaks from the TFCN Facebook group. We have not Cyberverse, but it's Transformers Authentics, which was that a trademark that was filed?
That was part of the leaks.
Okay. So
it looks very Cyberverse to me.
Well, in terms of Cyberverse, in terms of size class, I can see that, yeah.
But not Cyberverse in terms of the upcoming line.
Well, that's probably why they changed the name.
Yeah, we still don't know what Cyberverse is or if any of this has anything in common with it. But this is just kind of like the official default styling for Transformers products at the moment. And it matches up with the products we saw in the leak that were listed as Transformers Authentics. So
yes,
I don't know what to think about these. They look very Legends size.
I think they are probably more like deluxe size.
That hurts.
Assuming the fist openings are 5mm, that would put them about deluxe size.
Yeah.
But if I remember the information from the leaks correctly, I think these were indicated as being somewhere around a $5 or $6 price point, potentially.
I'm assuming that the ones in the next story are probably like one price point up from that, since I see a bunch more ball joints in them than in Prime and Bumblebee.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move ahead to the next one.
Well, at my local Walgreens, I saw the Cyberverse, and they're $16.97 at Walgreens.
Oh, Cyber Battalion.
Yeah.
Here's Megatron.
I kind of like
Megatron
it.
actually looks kind of good.
Yeah. I mean, if that's like a just deluxe-sized Megatron with, ball joints and all the, basic locations, I'd be fine with that. Likewise, the Starscream. If these are cheap, I may get them.
Look at that hole on the back of the leg of Megatron, though. That is bad.
I mean, hopefully they are cheap.
That has got to be cheap. That's got to be.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
they're
that's kind of the whole purpose these would be made for. You know, you have the evergreen styling, and you make them at a low price point, so you have like a really basic, accessible product price point that is not beholden to a current like line gimmick or design style.
And the shampoo bottles just aren't cutting it as far as like the low end product. I mean, who buys that?
No.
Maybe kids.
And I'm kind of looking from the back of Megatron's other leg. I'm wondering if maybe part of the leg structure was accidentally trimmed out in the photo editing phase.
happens.
It would not be the first time.
Yeah.
So, in doing the art for I highly utilize Hasbro photography when I do album art or thumbnails for the podcast, and I can't tell you how many times that across a solid line like that, Photoshop has accidentally selected something that I didn't realize until like 15 edits later.
Although that is a very square edge, if that is the case.
It could be. So like the quick select is really bad about catching things like that. Worse
I
than
mean,
Magic
it really
Wand.
just depends on the contrast of the image too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they photograph these is basically made to make like masking out the background as easy as possible.
It doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't always work, but the way that looks to me, I think that might just be how it's built.
Could be.
Because I think the knees are the front of the tank.
Yeah.
So you might actually need that hollow space there for the legs to fold over the back of the figure.
Yeah, you're right.
Of course, I'm me. I mean,
Okay,
And so modest.
Mr. Wright, tell us about the next item, which is the Last Knight Premier Edition Cogman. The legend continues. Okay.
Yeah.
well, I know I put this in here this morning, but I don't remember what specific thing. Oh, yeah, this is the case assortment for Wave 4 of Transformers The Last Knight, which is what Cogman is in. So we actually have the breakdown of what toys are shipping in that and in what proportions. So there will be 2 Cogman per case in Wave 4. And that is shipping with 1 each of the following: Barricade, Berserker, because as if we don't have enough of either of those hanging around already. And also reships from Wave 3, including Bumblebee, Crosshairs, and Strafe. So 2 new in-demand toys and 5 reruns.
Sadness.
Yeah.
I really want that Cogman. And as I think we mentioned it last week, the future of the Takara Tomy version that everybody was banking on is tentative. It's delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or delayed. We don't know if it's indefinitely.
Well, indefinitely.
Well, it is
literally
indefinitely
indefinitely.
because the information they posted saying that it's delayed did not give any new release date or other information. So it is absolutely indefinite in its delay.
And just, yeah.
Well, it's
No, Diecast, this is about what words mean. Indefinite means that there is no end in sight to this delay because they have not told us we're delaying it until this time.
indefinitely just delayed to me always meant that it was delayed. It's not going to be made.
Hey, words can mean different
That
things.
would be canceled.
So
Yeah, I mean, delayed indefinitely is something they say sometimes when they don't want to let you know that things are canceled, but sometimes it just means delayed until we get whatever is screwed up unscrewed
Yes,
up.
There is no definite plan currently. It is indefinite.
yeah, sometimes
Yes.
though it's like being in future endeavored. You know, we wish them well in their future endeavors is like a euphemism for being fired. Sometimes delayed indefinitely means canceled, but in this case, we literally mean it. It's delayed indefinitely.
Cogman has taken time off to spend more time with his family.
We wish him well in his future endeavors.
We wish him well on his future endeavors. So I apologize if my dogs are coming through. Then there's a
Not in
siren
the
or
last
something.
like 10 minutes, but
Good. Well, it's really loud on this end. So what else we got going on here? Oh, Galaxy Meteor.
Yep.
So all the people that posted hashtag Get Make Toys Made, I know they're all buying this toy, and especially since they dropped the price of it to $99.99.
I didn't use the hashtag, but as soon as I can spare the $100, I am going to buy one.
So it looks really
Cool.
nice. It's really large, and it's $100. It's not my thing, but if I were in the market for third-party stuff again, this would be on my list.
I'm not really in the market for third-party stuff, but I've always loved the Cybertron Starscream design. And, I mean, we've talked about this before when it looked like this was going to be canceled. This is something that appeals to me in a way that a lot of other stuff doesn't. And, like, a liter-size, really posable, detailed Cybertron Starscream, I mean, I dig that, and I kind of need to have that. Plus, I've seen a video from the early releases, and the transformation looks pretty manageable.
Yeah, a lot of our friends who have this love it. So
they're raving over it.
But at the same time, I do worry about all the people who harped about the dozens of people on Twitter who harped to get MakeToys made. I gotta say, I don't think all of them are buying it.
Probably not. I was going to just specifically say to anybody who was, asking MakeToys to make this, please follow through, because odds are good that if they lowered the price, that they are probably not going to make a ton of money on it anyway. So it's really for the best to show that fan demand like this is worth listening to.
Yeah.
So
and also if this does, if they lower the price to meet the fans' expectations and their requests, and it doesn't work, what happens when it's your favorite figure that gets delayed, and then they won't bring it back because it didn't happen now?
So can we start a hashtag make Cogman made or something like that?
I love it. Do it. That is going out on Twitter right now. I am tweeting that from the RSC account. Get Cogman made. Get Cogman made. And I am going to find an image from HLJ.
I mean, if it worked once, right?
What's the speed change? Cogman is the cheap one. I'm not gonna put that picture out.
Yeah, that might not be the message we're trying to send here.
yeah,
MakeToys has said that they still want to pursue other projects based on Galaxy Force stuff. So, Galaxy Meteor may not be a one-off.
Tidal wave.
Yeah.
Tidal wave.
No, that's Armada, though.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I agree with the sentiment though.
Now, the one thing about this is that what I've seen on my timeline is that a lot of people are complaining. It's like, well, they could have come out at this pricing before, and it not been a problem. The thing of it is, though, they're in a business to make money, and if that was the price where they could comfortably make a profit and then get all the subsequent Thundercracker and Skywarp uses out of that to help defray the cost of the mold by getting a little more for Starscream, which the one of the three would probably sell, that's smart business, is going ahead and trying to clear as much as you can on the initial run.
They're not leaving money on the table.
Hey, Diecast, are you buying it?
More.
Yes.
Yeah. Just more to the point, Don, I have a feeling that the initial price was probably, what they figured they could, comfortably make a profit on, and even, not lose anything if they don't sell through on everything. And I have a feeling that just for the goodwill of getting this produced, this is probably a razor thin margin or even a small loss just to get it done.
Yeah, I think they actually said that in the process of getting this put through, like, everybody involved agreed to take a smaller margin on this product just to see it happen.
Yeah.
So everybody
I
watching,
think MakeToys themselves are not making as much. I think the retailers are taking a smaller cut out of it too, to get that price down and make sure that it's going to be marketable.
So is this is this Masterpiece scale?
I mean, that's hard to say given it's, a different series.
Just say no.
No, I mean, I would kind of say it probably is intended to be Masterpiece scale.
If it was not Masterpiece scale, I would go ahead and buy it.
It's the same height as Cybertron Megatron, more or less.
I wish it kind of was Cybertron Megatron. I like that.
I mean, that could be, that could be their next Galaxy Force thing they want to do. I mean, okay, so, like, real quick tangent here, like, third-party Galaxy Force stuff, what do you want to see made from that line? Like, I think a new Override could be pretty good, because that original toy was not the best.
Vector Prime.
Yeah,
okay.
A new Vector Prime would be good. I just kind of liked that Hot Shot. That would not be a bad thing to have.
The regular one or Cybertron Defense?
I actually liked them both, but I was thinking the regular one mainly.
Mm-hmm. And there's a fair bit of recolor potential in that one too.
Yeah.
And this is kind of up on the higher price point. I wouldn't mind seeing a different look at Primus.
Yeah,
That's ambitious, Don.
I think I can think of more Super Link toys that I would rather have than Cybertron, or than.
Oh, Energon Rodimus, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm even thinking like that Beachcomber that came out.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Or Scorponok. Go ahead, Don.
One of my favorite Cybertron toys is Downshift, and I would like to see a different. He's one of my favorite because I like the Downshift colors better than Big. I like Big Daddy, but it's just black and orange, whereas with the green and black it pops a little bit more.
Don. I mean, you just blown my mind. That Downshift, the size of a Masterpiece Autobot car, and then you get the Big Daddy redeco out of it.
Hey, you know what Micron Legend toy I'd like to see? Blur.
Tidal Wave.
Blur. No.
Okay, that's a good one too.
I hate that Blur toy.
I would like to
that's why we
see
need the new one.
Armada Sideswipe redone by third party.
Oh man.
Like legitimately.
Scavenger.
I thought Don wants a third
Oh, no,
party.
Scavenger's perfect as is.
That's true.
I think Don wants a
Sideways.
third party.
Sorry, Diecast.
Don wants a third party Supreme Cheetor. If someone would start working on that.
Yes.
Let's move along.
Yes.
Let's move
So
along.
I can beat you upside the head with it and then shove it up.
Let's move along. Transformers, do you want Autobot base and Cybertron and carrier
I
base
like
designs?
where that's going, Brian.
Now, Jack posted this. So this was part of some photos that showed up of Transformers and Diaclone design.
Concept art.
Yeah, concept art.
Yeah, these are from the same person. I think we talked about the early designs for Metroplex that they posted last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is for a couple of playsets. We never got one of the mountain that the Ark is under, and I think probably another early take on Metroplex, probably in the
That's what it
base
looks like.
mode.
That would be awesome, the mountain with the Ark. That's really cool.
So,
Yeah.
size.
How big would that have had to be, though?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Mask's mountain.
Boulder
with-
Hill.
Yeah, Boulder Hill.
Now,
There was a RoboForce playset along these lines too.
and also about this time when this was probably being designed, Visionaries was still being looked at as far as getting an Iron Mountain playset for Merklin and the Shrine as a playset. They just couldn't get the holographic technology at the time to work because Merklin was supposed to be a projection in the middle of the Shrine. But there's probably some design aesthetics shared between that and this because it was all being worked on about the same time.
It wouldn't surprise me if the basic shapes, if the basic shell could be reused for something like that. It wouldn't be surprising to me if the designs got shifted over once they decided they weren't suitable for Transformers.
Actually,
you think,
the mountain could be a really good Action Master play set.
Yeah,
That would keep the size under control.
Do you think third party would ever do a play set like this, or like a really nice Ark in a mountain that could open up and you could have Teltran 1 in there and stuff? That would be kind of cool,
been
but it's
play
not
sets
something
before.
third party has ever done.
But with Iron Factory being as successful as they are with their smaller scale figures and with DX9's War in the Pocket, I think a Decepticon base and Autobot base could well be within their abilities. I don't think it would have to be like a two-part Omega Supreme, but I do think it could be done, and maybe it comes in the box modular, not just one huge piece, but you would just sort of connect them together.
So there was that point in time where there was a lot of unofficial World's Smallest Transformers stuff being made after the official line kind of petered out. I think if that was going on right now, that would probably be the foot in the door for some kind of a playset thing. Because I think even the Cyberverse size stuff that Iron Factory and DX9 have been doing is probably pushing a little bit too high to have a really satisfying playset that can fold up into an Ark or a Nemesis and also still stay within a reasonable for third party price point.
Now, I just thought of this as you were saying this. I was thinking about these play sets, and I was thinking along the lines of the old Star sets. But if there is a company out there that specializes in these cardboard building diorama things.
Doesn't Toy Hacks do something like that now?
Well, I know that they do the backdrops and stuff, but I haven't looked. So I'm not sure how intricate they are. But if they did if someone made a pop-up version like the Dinobot set from San Diego, but that's what you bought was not an actual plastic, but it's the big pop-up playset kind of thing for those Cyberverse Commander figures like Iron Factory's doing, you'd have a lot lower production value, I would have to think, per unit.
No, I would hope it'd still be a high production value, but maybe a low production cost.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
So if you didn't mind having a cardboard playset with plastic figures, that could be something that could, if a company's out there to do that.
That's an interesting thought. I'm actually genuinely curious now that you mentioned it. Like, how much of a market would there be within their audience? Like, how many people would be on board with, let's buy, maybe a $35, $40 stack of cardboard sheets that we can assemble into a loose base.
Yeah, and you would just assemble them like, you would slide a sheet and then slide supports, feed them in, make little connecting ports. I mean,
that was so two things. One, Kim just delivered to me some Pepsi Max, or pardon me, Pepsi Zero Sugar. She's amazing. And I've been eerily silent on this matter because I've been looking at prices of Micron Legend Shockwave. And I just can't bring myself to pay $180 for it.
Oh, no, do not pay $180 for it. Basically, what I could figure out within the last month, more the going prices in the $60 to $80 range, and more to the low end of that for even a boxed one.
Yeah, I need one.
They're not super common right now on eBay, but their value has diminished quite a bit from what it was even a year ago. Believe me, this is something I've kept track of over the years.
Yeah. Funny thing is, though, like, when you have so few of an item in circulation, and we have as big of an audience as we do, just talking about it on the show can negatively, for me, influence the value of these things.
It's so pretty, though.
God, that looks so nice. Yeah, okay. So next item we have here, the
where are we at?
Unproduced U1 personal organizer transforms your journal into an Autobot or Decepticon. So I did not see this. I love this so hard. This is my new favorite thing that I've ever seen. I can't believe I'm just
even
seeing
more
this now.
Weebles?
Yes.
Wow.
I can't believe this is a first. Oh my god. How does this work?
As far as I can tell from the illustration, it looks like it is a book-shaped transformer with like a handful of sheets of paper on the top, so that it does fulfill some function as a book, and then the rest are just basically dummy pages which transform as so many G1 Transformers did into a rectangle.
I love this. This is third parties make this. I will buy this.
No. This is the next exclusive. They've already done a phone, or they've already done a battery. They've done a tablet, and now they're going to do a book.
Is that Boltax's head on that? Is that what that is?
That's a little bit too detailed to be Boltax's head.
Okay. Interesting.
They could totally do this for their next exclusive.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love that so much.
Looks the engineering of the robot looks very similar to how the cassettes work.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, G1, a lot of things good at turning into rectangles.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Transformers Rarity of Convoy Facebook group. I wasn't aware of that.
Me either, but I'm not really into rare hunting that much.
Yeah. When it comes to Lucky Draw, I check out.
I mean, I really respect the people who devote themselves to this in particular, because I think it's probably kind of cool to have that one particular focus and not have all the the noise, let's say, getting in the way. Like, you can actually focus your collection budget on these really rare things. At the same time, Lucky Draw stuff being mostly just gold chromed examples does not do a whole lot for me.
So this is Masterpiece Megatron.
Could you imagine
Golden
trying to
Lagoon Megatron.
Could you imagine trying to transform that thing being an all gold
no,
back metal?
I can't.
No. But no, the other thing about Lucky Draw collectors that I really appreciate is that this is not these promotions are not always very well publicized or recognized overseas. So the fact that there are people who like track these things down and preserve them, I think is really kind of nice, because this stuff could just get totally lost and we'd never even know it existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of weird because the only lucky draw I ever wanted was Blackfire Convoy, and he is one of the easier, perhaps even the easiest lucky draw to get.
That's because he's Fire Convoy.
And because it's just black and not gold chrome.
Yeah.
Well, and also because they made more of him than anybody else. But it took me several years to find one that I could afford. Again, that was the easiest one of the bunch. So I couldn't do it. I could not be a lucky draw collector because that would be just like I'd have like 3 things as my collection. That would be all
awesome.
I'd have.
Yeah.
I would love to just have a collection of 3 things.
I mean, it's not a big collection, but at that point, like, every single one of those is super important to you because, like you say, there's a lot of effort and time and patience in addition to the financial outlay. Like, there'd be a lot invested into each and everything you have. And I expressed it really badly before, but that's kind of the aspect I admire of this.
Yeah, I don't know how that would actually impact the economics of those toys, because the number of people who actually collect those is very limited.
As are the number of those toys.
Yes, every time you buy one, you're taking a large percentage of that item out of circulation. However, also you're in a way competing with yourself, and so to speak, in the actual demand, because you may be the only person who's demanding that toy. Mm-hmm. So if you have it and you try to sell it, you may not be able to sell it for anything near what you paid for it.
And on top of that, you've got to look at other Takara lucky draws from Brave that were done. So if you were a robot collector in general, you have other options out there, but they're going to be even harder to get. Like and also like the Blackfire Convoy, there was a Black God Magnus. They made 10.
Oh,
10. Guess why I don't have one on my shelf?
Because it's a garbage toy.
Yep.
Because you don't see them.
No, that's not true. He has a Chronos on his shelf. So,
but I asked Hydra, and Hydra said he knew a guy at the time. He saw one in someone's collection. That's the only one he had seen at the time.
Hey, Diecast mentioned Chronos. Let's go ahead and mention it. Diecast has been for years, literally years, talking about burning Chronos, and it's going to happen. And we are going to... It's unaffiliated with us, I guess, technically, because he said so in the video. I
just wanted to make sure it was unaffiliated with anybody, just in case
death threats,
just in case it hurts anyone's sensibilities.
So, and to that,
they will only come for you and your family, not for any of us. We appreciate that.
And for that point, though, one thing I wanted to get across in burning that, it's not a toy. So it's not like some kid could have had
it. Not the war crime.
It's a war crime. So it did not pass any kind of safety test or anything. So it could not be given to a kid. But Diecast burned it.
It would probably make children cry.
I saw a preview of the results, and if you've ever tried to fry a Solo cup, it's a very similar outcome.
So
which makes me really concerned for what they made that thing out of.
So that will be released very soon. We are just working on containing the video in all its majesty to within like 4.5 minutes. Because it took a while.
Plus, we need a couple slow-mo shots in there.
Yeah.
Some lens flare.
Lens flare.
Multiple sunrises and sunsets in the same day.
Yeah. There you go.
That really strong bass line that they use in movie trailers.
Yeah. Hey, so another thing that happened, if you want to memorialize one short sequence in Transformers the movie, and you want to spend $1,200 in doing it, Imaginarium Art has the statue for you. It's Coronation Starscream. and it's not bad comedy. This is like a real thing. So
I don't know that disqualifies it from being bad comedy.
there you go.
The price was bad comedy.
$1,200.
I don't understand why the throne appears to be made of missiles.
Apparently, someone watched that one episode of the books on tape.
That one episode of the books on tape
with the Mumra voice is Megatron.
Yeah.
I just want to say, anyone that complained about the price of the third-party Omega Supreme, you better have a problem with this.
I do. Hey, I definitely. This is not working to me. Real quick,
it's no Unicron.
We talk about this every single time we bring up these statues. Like, one or two of us may be interested in one or two of these, just like for the artistic side of it. But we always are like, never for that price. I mean, come on.
So looking at this, it does not.
Poor Dom, that Unicron lamp he'll never have.
We've been seeing a lot of these lately.
The thing about this one, it gets me. This is Coronation Starscream. Based on the way it looks to me, I guess they could probably do a standard Starscream with it. But
maybe
it seems to me like you would have started. If so, it seems like you would have started with a standard Starscream, and this would have been like the variant.
Or him standing up on the podium, like in the movie, not like sitting on a throne that he never actually sat on.
Maybe the next statue in the series will be Galvatron in cannon mode at the bottom of the podium with Starscream's boots just standing there charred.
Yeah,
I can understand if this was like $100 or something like that, but and I'm so from the photo, it probably doesn't do it justice how nice it is in hand. But I just can't. It hurts my head.
But like I said when we were talking about the Beast Wars Megatron statue before, like, I really want to know more about statue collecting Transformers fandom.
Yeah. If anyone does collect, please tweet at us.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, get in touch with us. We would like to understand more about what that world is like, because it's almost completely foreign to us.
And also, I want to point out, so when it comes to things like this, it could just come down to an income thing. So, say somebody made high six figures, then this would not be a big investment. Oh, I really love Transformers. I'm going to spend $1,000 for a statue. Who cares?
Maybe this is like the surrogate lucky draw fandom.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, seriously, it could be. I even had a thought similar to that. It really could just be, this is a super rare toy. I can't have it. Well, I can have the super rare statue that's really nice looking.
Yeah.
This is like a way to get it past your wife. Like, it's not a toy, it's a statue.
Yeah.
I don't think that would float, but good try.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that works on one person somewhere at least. And there is just we've seen it in other fandoms and other hobbies and other kinds of collectibles. There's basically a prestige nerddom subculture where you buy these ridiculously expensive nerd things as status symbols. Yeah. That's not why I'm in this game, but if it is to you, more power to you, I guess. But man.
Because I'm really, like Chris was saying, I'm interested in talking to some of the fans out there. Yeah. Like, for example, what would make you pick this as compared to, say,
another Starscream statue?
Or let's say Fans Toys Omega.
Oh, okay.
Something that moves, it displays, it poses, it transforms. It is a very great representation of the character. Now, again, you may not like Omega, but I'm just saying, if you like Starscream and Omega equally, what made you pick the statue versus the figure? That's what I would like to find out about.
Yeah, so, if you are out there and you collect these statues and you have thoughts or comments you want to share with us, like, we have the voicemail line, there's contact@tfradio.net, tweet at us, like, seriously, we would like to hear perspectives from...
We'll be at TFCon.
Somebody buys... People out there buy these, otherwise they wouldn't make them.
Yeah, no, and like I'm just encouraging anybody who watches the show and collects this stuff. We would like to hear your perspective on this, like legitimately.
And if
we are interested.
If you have a friend who collects these and they don't listen, let them know and tell them to buy all their expensive goodies at tfradio.net/Amazon.
And if you have an uncle that works at Nintendo, let me know. I need an inside info hookup.
So MakeToys Thunder. I still hate these names. Thunder Manus, unofficial Power Master Optimus Prime, color images with Divine Suit God Genrai parts. I have mixed feelings.
I have to say, it's a very impressive figure. I'm kind of, I guess to keep the cost as low as it's at what, $209, I think. It's the God Bomber doesn't have a robot mode.
Oh, it's $299.
I thought it was $209 was the price that I've heard.
I don't have mixed feelings anymore.
But I mean, that is a very striking figure. It's just with us just having got Genrai and God Bomber, is it really necessary? But I guess you could say that about a lot of the third-party stuff too.
I mean, ultimately, is any of it necessary? Is anything necessary?
I would tend to think that they made their God Bomber parts not have a robot mode because they didn't want to make something that's a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Wait, is it $209?
Takara has no such qualms.
Is it $209 for just the upgrade kit or for the Thunder Manus with it?
I think it's an all-in-one thing.
That's not as
Hang on.
bad.
I'll check, Brian. Let me check for a second.
If that's $200 just for the God Genrai bits,
No.
thank goodness.
Well, no, if it's $209, it's $209 for Thunder Manus, and then the God Genrai parts would be some smaller addition on top of that. But I think the $209 is probably the whole thing.
I don't know. There's something about God Bomber in vehicle mode that he looks stunted.
Well, he's
which
also
is ironic because I think they tried to streamline it.
Well, which is also the fact is that that's sort of the same look as the Striker Noir and the Striker Manus. So it's going for that slight anime look as well.
They're kind of leaning into the super robot a little bit with it.
Yeah. In terms of the vehicle mode for the God Bomber parts, yeah, I think the fact that the chest plate it is kind of just does not take up the entire front of the thing, it just looks kind of weird.
Yeah, no dice. Let's see what else we got going on. Iron Factory War Giant. What is this?
Somebody screwed up the show notes.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is this?
Not it.
Yeah,
Who put that?
Not
in?
it.
Don.
Wow, what happened?
Okay, so this is Iron Factory War Giant Attackers. This is the Legend Scale Swindle and Brawl.
I love these so much.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
There's pictures in this gallery of the whole Bruticus combined, which looks kind of amazing.
How much?
Yeah.
Same
$40
price.
per set, I think.
It's 60, 59.
Is it 60?
I think it's
60%.
Yeah, I think it's $59.99 per set, or $69.99 per set, and you get Brawl Swindle, Blast Off Vortex, and Onslaught is his own set.
So same size as Hulky. Or was that DX9?
That was DX9.
yeah,
That was DX9.
Okay.
I think the Iron Factory stuff actually skews a little bit larger than that. I don't. All I have are the Seekers to base that off of, though.
Yeah, but these look really well designed, and the combined mode looks kind of amazing.
Yeah, I think I need this.
I almost regret I don't collect in this scale. On the other hand, that saves me, $150 or whatever.
Yeah.
But of course, Matt, you and I being Combaticon fanboys, they're going to do G2. They may do Battle Gaia. They may do the.
Oh, if they do Battle Gaia, I might.
Yeah.
If they do Battle Guy, there's no question. But I think I need Bruticus as well.
Yeah, and then Urban Camo, and then Cheddar Cheese. And,
No, I'm not going to feel the need to collect all of
Bruticus
these.
pictures in there. Click through to the Bruticus pictures in there. That is like a super, super posable combiner.
Yeah. It is really, really ridiculously nice.
Yeah. It looks like they sort of found their niche with in this size class, because they're doing a lot more that looks better than we've seen in bigger versions of these characters.
And I honestly would rather have this than any other third-party combiner, just because I have room for these.
Well, and it's also different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more different than any of the other third-party combiners.
These look awesome next to Metroplex or Fortress Maximus as well.
There you go.
Sort of reminds you of the commercial where Bruticus is attacking Metroplex, and it's like, no, that's not going to work.
Reminds me of watching the Headmasters cartoon right now, honestly.
No, please don't associate this toy with that. Please.
Oh, yeah.
Too late.
Yeah.
Oh man, if Iron Factory did a Raiden,
I'd buy it.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah. Raiden, a new take on JRX. Definitely, maybe even a new look at some of the Brave Train combiners, like Dagwan and Liner Dagwan and the one from Goldoran. I can't remember the name.
Right, though.
So in the chat, just so I can bring it up, there's a question on who's Battle Gaia, and it's from Operation Combination. It's the Bruticus
That's the series where the Micromaster 6 combiners all come out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
much.
There's also
Gaia
a
and Guard
super,
City.
super rare repaints of Defensor and Bruticus called Guard City and Battle Gaia.
Yeah.
So all the stuff from Operation Combination, basically in their original forms, is a super rarity today. The Micromaster combiners all or almost all got re-released about 10 years ago now. Actually, probably more than that. So actually, at this point, the reissues are probably getting a little bit rarer. But they've never done reissues of Battle Gaia and Guard City so far.
Yeah. The closest to a reissue of Guard City was found in Easter baskets across America.
Yeah. Now the Operation Combination, that was technically the last series, wasn't it? Because Return of Convoy came out before Operation Combination, didn't it?
So Battlestars, Return of Convoy. I thought Battlestars was after. I guess you're right. Don, I think Operation Combination was after.
Yeah, because I know we're supposed to get that Super Megatron that we never got from Battlestars.
And the reason
we've seen,
the reason I think it comes after is I always think of Battlestars as the last, and I always forget Operation Combination. Which is,
I think a lot of people tend to also conflate Return of Convoy and Operation Combination. They were both fairly short series, and they were tail end Japanese G1. So, it wouldn't surprise me for them to commonly be blended together in memory.
And while I'm looking it up, I'll pull up the Guard City as well.
Yeah.
Was it Guard City that we saw at TFCon, or was it Battle Gaia, or was it both?
We saw both at BotCon.
Yeah.
Was it BotCon?
Yes.
The one you're talking about that you and I saw at TFCon 2015 in Charlotte, I think, was Guard City.
Yeah, I wish
Guard City.
I did
for like $1,200.
And that's not that bad.
Matt and I were drooling over those two sets at BotCon, just like,
if Kim wouldn't kill me, I'd consider it.
It might be worth it, Brian. You never know.
There's no gold plastic. Yeah, I would consider it. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on.
One last thing in the main news.
Oh, yeah. There is Unique Toys unofficial Combaticon project, not Onslaught. Color sample photos.
I'm not aware of a code name for this one, so...
The Nova. No-go. Not buying.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like somebody did a custom Onslaught out of a Titan's Return Overlord.
Yeah,
it's just something about the chest.
I can see where you're coming from on that.
And the squareness.
The Iron Factory Legends one looks way better than this.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting that Unique Toys is not the company that went out of business.
No, that's Impossible Toys. And
I guess they really were.
So now we're going to have the same figures across the board in the Pocket series is now. Ugh.
Well, I don't think DX9 has announced a Combaticon project yet, so we might be safe for the moment.
Like, I don't think this looks terrible. It just looks boring.
I'm not into their aesthetic with this.
I guess
if it were $30, my opinion would change dramatically.
But even the Iron Factory one's not going to be $30.
Yeah.
But to me, this looks like this will be more of a generations kind of onslaught, whereas the other ones would be like a classics kind of thing. That's the way it looks like it's to me. It just depends on what theme you're looking for the shelf.
Yeah. And one more thing. On Twitter, Drift Samurai Master let us know that the Last Knight One Steps Wave 3 are out at Toys R Us in New York. So if you collect that, know that those are going to hit the shelves soon. I feel bad that I do not collect any of those.
Why?
Well, I was about to say I got one of the one-step Bumblebees from for review from Hasbro when in our first bundle
in our goodie
stuff.
box.
Yeah, in our goodie box for the beginning of the line, and I really don't. They're just not for me.
I mean,
go ahead, Don.
I mean, it's like having an entire collection of battle chargers.
Why? There's something to be said about the lower end, simpler toys for kids, and it depends on how much, like anything else, how much energy and effort they put into it. I'm not going to compare these to Go 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 Bots, but something like Go 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 Bots were fun.
Yeah.
So I think if the one-step changers were more the size and tactile experience of a bot shot, I'd be more into it as a concept. As is, they're kind of just a little bit too big and awkward to mess with easily.
Yeah, I mean, if you could make a set of one-step tiny turbo changers, sure, I'd be down for that.
So, real quick, if anybody out there doesn't use our Amazon link, and I know sometimes it's hard to remember these things, and I try to do it too for friends that I know, other sites that use Amazon. I always try my best to go in and use their affiliate link, but, it's not a 100% of the time thing, but it's like 70%. So if you could give us your 70% of the time that you use Amazon, we would appreciate it. TFRadio.net.
Is that a tagline?
Yes. TFRadio.net/Amazon.
Give us your 70%.
Give us your 70%. Amazon sends a little bit back to help us out. We'd appreciate it. It's expensive.
Because past a certain point, the free software just don't cut it anymore.
Yeah, it's not free. There's certain things we do use that are free. I use Audacity to edit. Like I actually have Creative Cloud, the suite, and I don't use Adobe Audition. I like Audacity, but for the most part, I don't use any free video editing software because Premiere is the best. And that's what I know. Graphics is, Photoshop, but that's all separate. Just like hosting fees and everything, it costs a lot to do it right.
Yeah, it's really the infrastructure more than the software that is the cost problem.
Yeah, and for the most part, if we need new hardware, I had to get a little bit of new hardware this week. Do I have it handy? No, I don't. But I'll show it off. But occasionally there's some new hardware needed, but it's mostly just infrastructure. Hosting costs a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you have to support, 8-9 podcasts at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
You ever think we do too many things?
Right now, especially, I think we do too many things.
But we want our fans to be able to avoid reality as much as possible.
I'm really in favor of that concept, Don.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good pitch right now. Seriously.
Absolutely. I love that. We need to put that on a t-shirt. Speaking of, my t-shirt guy who I've been working with, like, hey, when are you gonna pull the trigger on the shirts? I'm like, dude, I haven't had time, but we are working on shirts. People have been asking, so we're just trying to settle on the design. So once we settle on the design and I find 5 minutes to breathe, we'll have t-shirts and we'll let you know. Okay, so moving along, Rob, what's on TFormers this week?
Okay, well, I reviewed a couple of comics. The reviews were late because I forgot to ask for my copies over the weekend to review. But out today, we've got ROM vs. Transformers Shining Armor number 3 and First Strike number 4, and I think both are very good. I'm really enjoying First Strike a lot more than I expected to after Revolution, but that's, Margaret Scott writing characters that aren't dumb. So that's the major thing. So yeah, that both of those worth checking out. Of course, XV posted his unboxing video of every Transformers: The Last Knight home video release. So that's up there if you want to see, and if you watch that video, there is a chance to win a copy of Transformers: The Last Knight from TFormers and Paramount.
Because we can spare them.
Giveaway ends the night of October 4th.
Yes. I wrote a little article on 6 areas that I think Power of the Primes could improve on Combiner Wars. And, it's just, basic things, all the little things we complained about with Combiner Wars that became cumulative over time that, I'm not sure I got mold variety in there. I'm kind of hoping that we get some more of that, but just all the little, technical things got to be a nuisance, especially when you're photographing the things. And lastly, XV's new show for TFormers, Why Transformers? Episode 1, Why Are There Only 2 Titans Return box sets? That's with Eric Crownover, and it's a really good show.
Yeah, so if you've ever had, just like these questions, why is this way with Transformers? Well, over time, we hope that we will be able to answer some of those questions for you and, inform and educate a little bit, because Eric has a lot of curiosity, and I have way too many things floating around in my head.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Hey, Don, what's on the network this week?
On the network this week, Superhero Time presents that one episode of Star Trek, Legacy. It was a completely failed podcast. There was Lord Taco. Also, Star Trek Discovery, The Orville, and some episode of TNG. It's probably referencing the title of the podcast. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. Being Awesome with Rob Springer, episode 119, Storm Force Decelerator. This week in Awesome, Rob is back from his hurricane-forced hiatus with talk of discount store robots and Q&A about mainstream acceptance of a Transformers reboot. All this and nothing else.
Yeah, at least he's honest about it.
Yes.
How was your weekend, episode 18? Not ponytails or cottontails. No, DuckTales. Woo-hoo. On this episode, Wendy and Brian watched the new DuckTales series and compare it to a classic episode of the original cartoon. Adding my own bit here, wait till you get to the end of the new episode. It will blow your mind with one word. What's Happened to the Headmasters, episode 4. An evil meteor and veil of mystery walk into a bar. On episode 4 of What's Happened to the Headmasters, Brian is joined by Dusty and the host of RPG Lessons Learned. On today's episode, we talk about the episodes The Evil Meteor and 4 Million Years, The Veil of Mystery. And yes, I wasn't even tackling that last name. I'm sorry.
Cambrides.
Oh, thank you. Now I know. RPG Lessons Learned, episode 21, Haunted Tower Pathfinder. This week, Dusty and Brian talk about another game created by Pathfinder Beginner Box. This game didn't go like Dusty planned it out, and the players took the story in a surprising direction. How did Dusty account for that, and should he have allowed it to happen? We talk about it on this week's episode of RPGLL. There Goes My Money, episode 30. This is a show about toys, not Star Trek. Oh, and there goes my money. Instead of watching Star Trek Discovery, we're talking Transformers for you.
Awesome. And you can find all those podcasts, of course, at our website, tfradio.net. Also at our website, we have Diecast reviews, RFC reviews. Now, Diecast, do you have anything on RFC reviews this week?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I looked this morning. You did.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I did record some stuff, though.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it. Very cool. Let's see here. You can find this episode at tfradio.net/538 to view the show notes and access the links. Don't forget we have a voicemail line, 931-99-GO-BOT, 931-99-GO-BOT. That's 931-994-6268. You can also send texts. Find us on Twitter at TFRadio, on Facebook at facebook.com/TFRadio, and on Instagram at TFPodcast. Matt is celebrating a milestone this week. Why don't you tell us about it, Matt?
I'm not sure what milestone you're talking about.
Perhaps
Brian.
you should tell Matt what milestone he's celebrating this week, Brian.
1 year ago, you, meaning me,
That was last week.
well, that was since we recorded the last show,
That was when we recorded the last show.
but it wasn't mentioned on the show.
Wasn't it?
No, I don't
Because
think
it
so.
didn't pop up on my feed until afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you are celebrating with me 1 year on Twitter.
Celebrating. Air quotes.
It's changed your life.
Happy 53-week anniversary.
Happy. Hey, it could be a fiscal year, and some fiscal years are 53 weeks. So congratulations on the important anniversary. Actually, it may be a year now that you actually took control of said account.
That's probably closer to the truth, yes.
So for those who weren't here, don't remember, Matt was adamant that he didn't want a Twitter account. He doesn't have Facebook. So I just created a Twitter account in his name and started tweeting for him.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is Matt now controls the horizontal. He controls the vertical.
Yeah. It's at MELLLVARR, 3 L's, 2 R's. Don, you're on Twitter.
I can be found on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Diecast.
I can be found at TFCon this weekend.
That's true. Me too.
And I can also be
Me
found
too.
on Twitter at Diecast2 and on YouTube at RFC Reviews and on Facebook at Reviews by Diecast.
Don't forget at TFCon to change your Twitter name to whatever at TFCon. We completely forgot to do that at HasCon. So just people watching know, or following along know that we're there.
Yeah, we're going to be tweeting it from at TF
Yeah.
Radio, so watch us there.
And Jason did it. Jason Kirk, our buddy who's in the chat right now, I think he changed his Twitter to like at TFCon like a month ago because he's so excited about TFCon.
Yeah. And also, if you're there, I'm guessing we've all got our shirts with us, or we'll have our shirts with us.
Probably.
Yeah. So just look for the Radio Free Cybertron blue shirt.
Rob, you're on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and at Flail-Throughs. I'm also on YouTube at Flail-Throughs, where we're still going through Gundam Breaker 3. This last week, I made a very exciting discovery: how to make mobile suits plaid.
Nice.
Also polka dotted.
Oh,
Very nice.
You've gone to plaid.
Yes, and
Have
And
you
actually-
have you made a Zaku wear a kilt yet?
no, but oh damn it, I should see if I can do that in specific. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. And of course, the videos that XV and I do for TFormers, such as the unboxing of every version of Transformers the Last Night, are on
14
YouTube.
of them!
Yes, are on YouTube at TFormers TV.
Nice. John, who's not here, is at that John D. John will also be at TFCon. Chris, do you want to tell us how to find you on Twitter?
I'd really rather not.
Cool. So we'll be back next week at ChrisRTXV. We'll share our TFCon thoughts. God, I guess we're going to probably end up recording some stuff at TFCon, whether we want to or not.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I am bringing way less equipment than normal, but it's still a sufficient amount of equipment to record. So,
And I'm bringing way less stuff to sell, but I'm still bringing stuff.
You always bring way too much equipment, and this will be the one time you forget the one thing you actually need.
yeah, I know, right? So you're rooming with Joey. Does Joey know what to expect, Don?
No, Joey saw me at
Yeah, they
Joe-
roomed together at Joe Lana.
Yeah, I mean he's perfectly fine. And I got my two friends, John and David. They know they've seen me in the dealer room. They know what to expect. The rest of y'all,
Cool. So we will be back next week. We'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
bye y'all.
Peace.
Safe travels to TFCon. Everybody going.
Okay, so hold on for 1 second, guys. I need to go grab something for Kim.
What do you want me to
Okay.
hold on to?
Funny.
Hold on for one more night.
Also, Chris, check out these new candy toys.
Oh dear.
They
Is this
are-
something I really don't need to be seeing?
It is entirely possible. I think these are amazing.
You know, okay. Here's something I don't
See, that's
understand.
what I'm afraid of.
Here's something I don't understand. They keep improving the candy toys, but the candy never gets any better. Why don't they just improve the candy too?
Because
See, this should be a YTF topic, except it's Gundam.
yeah, but the short answer is, compressed sugar technology peaked about 50 years ago.
Just like Visionary's hologram technology.
The more complex answer is that putting a piece of candy in a model kit or little toy puts it into a different either tax or distribution bracket and lets them circumvent some regulations.
Yeah.
So they don't actually care about the quality of the candy, except that it doesn't kill someone.
Yeah, I want to say that
Because that's altogether a different kind of regulation.
Yeah, I want to say I heard recently that the regulations on candy toys had been changed, and now the candy is just kind of there because it's always been there, which would also be why it's not very high quality. But yeah, these things, they're about...
They have frames?
They have frames, and here's how they work. You get a basic frame to display the armor on with the armor set, and then you get a super articulated frame separately that you can then attach the armor to.
So sort of like the old Ronin Warriors, that you can put the armor on like a display base, and then assemble it on another figure.
Kind of, yes, except for probably 1/10 of the cost, or less. It's a box of 10 for 5,400 yen, if I'm reading correctly. So, in Japan, these are going to be like $5 each. You're going to be lucky to see the sets of 2 for less than.
And they're about
20.
4 inches tall, it looks like.
Yeah.
But it's all early stuff. It's nothing I want anyway.
Sure, the counterattack isn't exactly early.
Well, to me, it's. I'm thinking
There's a unicorn, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there is. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Hey, folks watching live, I'm gonna have to kill the stream because I gotta go. So no urgent thing. I just have to go get some tape before the store closes. So we'll see you later.
Tape. I need some
Later, guys.
Tape.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.